Salute discipuli and salute omnes. Welcome again to another episode of Latin in Layman's, where I'm going to be talking about the teethies here. And we're going to be looking at the teeth, aka T-E-E-T-H. I was going to triple my E right there. We're going to look at it in the Latin and the Greek here, because oddly enough, the practitioner of dentistry, the dentist, is Latin. But something like orthodontist, periodontist, it's Greek. So if we want to look at these words, these fancy dancy words, maybe you don't even know what a periodontist is. Well, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you yet, but let's learn in a few. Would love to have you guys pop on over to my longer format where I speak into a microphone and it relays into a podcast that gets disseminated all over. Latin in layman's, a rhetoric revolution. Join it. I want this revolution to happen. I've talked about it. I'm still feeling the percolating of it. Still it's getting heated up. It's on a slow boil. And then all of a sudden, we're going to get that critical mass even more. Boom, shakalaka. Now let's get into some words here. Riffing off of our first one, dentist. And then what I also want to do is I want to tie it to words that don't pertain to dentistry, but entertain the actual root word that's embedded within it. Dentist. Dens dentis means teeth in Latin. Ist is this English suffixification word, as I like to say, that Englishifies it. So ist refers to the practitioner of, sometimes the professional of, and then teeth, the practitioner of teeth, aka ring ding ding-a-ling and whatnot, in order to make your teeth not fall out of your mouth. It's also where we get dent, because aren't there dents in our teeth? It's also where we get indent or indentation. And then also another honorable mention, dentrification. If you didn't know, that's literally a fancy dancy word for teething, essentially, because fico comes from facio in the Latin, which means to make. It's just a different principal part of facio. And then the action of, remember, that's another English suffixification there. Act of making teeth. There you go. If you didn't know, now you know. Now let's get into some Greek though, because this is where it gets kind of more interesting, oddly enough. Even though I'm the Latin guy, I love Latin, this could be a little bit more interesting in my opinion. Ortho means upright, straight, or correct. And then dont comes from the Greek version, went from dons to dens to dentist. That T elided turning into a T later on. I'm not going to talk about the Proto-Indo-European dual right now, though. If you're curious about it, look it up. Teeth, and then again, what is that ist? Practitioner of. Now, this is the practitioner of making teeth correct and or straight, right? Orthodontist is what you or whom you go to in order to get braces, get corrective kind of stuff going on. I do believe that they deal with stuff like TMJ, temporomandibular junction dysfunction, and all that kind of stuff as well. Orthodox is also where we get it from. Ortho meaning what? Straight or correct. Dox comes from dog. That's actually where we get dogma from. It means opinion. So what does orthodox mean? It means the correct opinion, or the opinion that's correct or right. That's that's a little tricky to embed that kind of subliminal messaging into that word, if you will. I don't know. Orthorexia, though, that's a term that's actually taken on some neologism. That's a new word that has come into our vernacular. Ortho meaning correct or straight or upright. Probably correct would be a good one to use here. Rexia refers to appetite. This is where we get anorexia from. An means without. Rexia refers to appetite. Anorexia just refers to without appetite. This one, however, means correct appetite or the right appetite. These are people that are quote unquote clean eaters that can't stop eating clean and they can't veer off their diet, aka a bodybuilder, until they compete. And then they go balls to the wall, 100% cheat mode to the wazoo the day after. I've seen it happen before. It's crazy. In person, because in Utah, when I was there, I had some friends that were bodybuilders and I supported them, but also I don't really support the whole on and off again mentality, even though sometimes it's hard for me being a type A personality, especially with work. So I get it in a way. Periodontist is going to be our last one here that we're going to look at here. Peri is where we get perimeter, right? What do you think peri means, right? If meter means length or measurement, peri means, well, how about this? It's the measurement around, right? Skip it a bop. Odont, teeth, ist, practitioner of. There you go. Practitioner of teeth around or dealing with what's around the teeth. And what's around your teeth, you guys? Think about it. It's your gums. So you deal with a lot of gum things. This is where you have periodontitis dealt with, gingivitis, that kind of stuff. So if you didn't know, now you know. Hope you learned something new. And Tempo says to Sketere.